Cypresses, oaks, ilexes and yews compose the sober scene with sombre hues. The narrow path runs down the southward slope. Among the graves where our forefathers sleep in the sure and certain hope of resurrection. Head to foot they lie, looking to the east, whence cometh their salvation, or so at least they thought in former simpler days. No such certainty now. All we know is that they are asleep hard by where they lived their useful lives. Here they still are together, husbands and wives, fathers and children. In death they are not lost. They lie in the heart of the parish, edge of the town, on a hillside that looks to the sun going down. On the skyline the ruined engine-house of Polguth mine, whence the town took its rise, from whose rich veins and from whose merchandise the generations of vanished miners fed. I see them, so many insects on that great hill, scurrying about, burrowing underground. If you listen closely you may hear the sound of the rumour of their toil. The dead men sing, along their levels and hidden galleries, a remote murmur like a hive of bees. Yet not so. They all fled over the seven seas. Ruin descended on the mines, and these men were driven forth to earn their bread in America, Australia, Africa. These are our exiles. They have left their bones in foreign soil under other stones. There in the distance are the dark woods of Penrice, mysterious, aloof, funereal. Lost in their depths lies the house of the Admiral, the last Sir Charles, whose family did well in the time of the Commonwealth and showed a nice sense of the moment, laid out their moneys with skill. Adding acre to acre and field to field, the squawk of pheasants now for generations has announced the vicinity of the squire. Yet still the tribute to mortality they yield, having come to an end with the young heir killed in 1914 in the last War of Nations. For him the white gate on the road to Trenaran stands open in vain. In vain the long curve of the drive leads across Deer Park and Ploughland in the wavering moonlight, the wide portico welcoming their returned, the family portraits in the hall. He has become but a tablet on a wall. The little chantry chapel in the church is filled with their memorials. Here as a boy I used to sit in the darkling evening, deep ensconced in a pew, listening to the organ's music, rapt with such extreme joy, my mind enchanted, moved in a dream, in which were mingled melodies and urns, a woman weeping over a bier, coloured armorial bearings, glints of crimson and gold, white marble stained with the late westering sun's last gleams. Heaven itself seemed to unfold in those rich harmonies that echoing rolled like waves within the caverns of the coast, and caught me up in their crest, until the painted roof inlaid with golden stars rolled back, and there revealed a miracle, God on his throne, the Son and Holy Ghost, amid the beating wings of the angel host. Now comes the shade of Mrs. Arthur, that proud gap-toothed woman, mincing her way along the path, turning her face upon the crowd with authority and pride, nursing her strong impetuous will that was at length withstood through the long unhappy years of widowhood by an only much-loved daughter, Margaret, who went over to the enemy, the man she married, nor ever came home again till the day she came to see her lonely mother carried to the grave. I see that wilful old dame yet, holding her head erect, as was her way. Where now is the stone put up to commemorate those 4 young men drowned while crossing the bay one day in the 70s? I used to meditate much on them and wonder at their fate. What sudden squall of wind capsized their boat that September afternoon and swept them away? 20 and 21, 27 and 18 they were. Their names no one remembers now. Many times have I thought of them and seen their little craft lingering her way through the waves, till rounding the point or farther out in the bay, she disappears, and they are lost to their loves. Who should have been strong fathers of families, yet now they are forever young. Not here, under the friendly turf, the shade of the trees, will you find them, but out there, the whitened skulls washed by the tides, wedged in the crevices of the rocks, mouthed by fishes, eyed by the gulls. Who are all these? Here one who lost a foot at Inkerman and returned to keep a mill at Tregenisi, yet another fought in Afghanistan. A few were mariners, but most of them were farmers, labourers, in the fields, ploughmen, small traders, carpenters. Now are their account books all closed up. It has ceased to matter whether they were happy more than half a century ago, or whether in their long absence someone else slept with their wives, or if their children were another's. What do these things matter in the eye of death? I note the names: Treleaven and Roosevelt, Hobbs and Jago, Hocking, Rowse and Fall, Veal and Dunn and Drew, Trudgian and Penhull, Samson Borlas and his Rebecca, and here a stranger to the parish, Abraham Dear. Across his name the vivid ivy scrawl. Amidst so much human mutability, this pleasant garden is a place of rest and peace. Death loses its horrid aspect. It is seen to be a natural term to life's unquietness. Here all conflict is stilled, quarrels cease. Here is neither friend nor enemy. Yet most of them must have known each other at market, and feast, and fair, and some kept company before marrying another with whom they lie. Here are two lovers who fell from the quay one December night in 1833, and were drowned. Remember them of your charity. It is a Sunday morning in wartime. The bells are silent, though it is church time, and they ring out and up the hillsides, usually to this garden, summoning the dead company to worship with the living. A thrush on a grey headstone halts to eye me inquisitively, then flits away. On the road outside resound the footsteps of people passing by the church. You see the old superstition still has its pull among the old-fashioned and respectable. If you wait, you will see the little organist go bustling by like a bird that hops on the ground. The sun is on the eastern face of the tower. Through a break in the trees you see the clock of the hour is close on 11. A scented summer breeze lifts and lets fall again the fronds of the trees. The grass is strewn with flowers of ilexes and early leaves, the rhododendron blown. What is this secret scent upon the air, so subtle it steals in everywhere? It is the odour of resin in the cypresses and yews, rising in the heat, a honeyed breath. In his remote still corner a snake lies sleeping, emblem of wisdom, of knowledge after death. The hours go by, and now it is afternoon. The white sail of a gull crosses the blue peacock sky that remembers Italy. The sun goes round the western face of the tower, the majestic image of the Trinity, the Virgin, the angel of the Annunciation, the flower. There too is the holy hermit St. Austell, from whom the parish derives its name, who lived by his well preaching, performed an occasional miracle. O holy, blessed and glorious Trinity, 3 persons and one God, one in the three. How comparatively simple all would be if this indeed were all. My mind returns to the feast days, Trinity Sundays of the past. The church all breathing flowers, the white linens upon the altar, the stiff new surplices, the festal air, the silver chalices, the procession, the vague old vicar wandering lost, then home through the hot, sweet-smelling Cornish lanes, gay with the first foxgloves and purple vetches, red sorrel and golden crowfoot in the hedges, to Sunday dinner, family around the table together, who now are all scattered, east and west, and one has gone to his eternal rest. The poets, my friends, have written learnedly of time present, time past, and time to come, but I do not know they have added to the sum of what we knew before, and that is simply, all creatures come by their appointed end. Let us learn to look on death then as a friend. Hark! From a field comes the comfortable sound of a reaper nearby harvesting his hay. Even as these in their day were harvested, there is speedwell growing here on the little mound of a child. A tiny lizard comes out to look at the man who is strangely moved as he reads in his book, I am the resurrection of the life. So many times have these poor simple folk heard and taken comfort, since they must, in these magnificent words. And when this mortal shall put on immortality, the recital tells nothing. We know only now that dust is dust. Yet indeed is not all. They scattered their seed before they died, like flowers upon the air. They are our forefathers from whom we were begotten. Their blood runs in my veins. Therefore have I come to fulfil my childhood's pledge, and fashion this prayer. In the place that knew them, they shall not be forgotten.